welcome everybody to another great episode of Real Life Matters. But this is Real Life Matters Health Tips with the humbled, manifested millionaire, Daniel Chin. But we're going to be talking about a whole set of things, to sum up for the holidays and the Christmas and the, all the stuff there before he comes back next season. And we're just going to sum all the stuff up for you. And if you have missed any of the past episodes, we'll then watch. So with no other further ado, I introduce to you the RLM Wealth Tips Humbled Millionaire Investor, Daniel Chin.
Thank you very much, DBoss. I'm very grateful to be here.
Well, you're always great. We're always glad to have you and stuff like that. And
it's a great show.
Well, you make things happen here with the tips and telling people about investing tips and all the other stuff that you tell people. So, which is great.
Well, they can only get it in the RLM series because so they don't have to pay $30,000 for a seminar. DBoss.
I know those seminars are getting more and more money.
Yep.
So, did you find a girlfriend yet?
I'm out there. DBoss.
Oh. Well, I hope you find someone to keep you warm during the holidays.
Trying to stay fit. Trying to stay fit here, DBoss. In shape.
So what kind of person are you looking for, Daniel?
Well, I'm a very simple guy, DBoss. I mentioned probably a couple of years ago. Of course, smart and beautiful is I'm attracted to. But I'm a very simple guy, DBoss. Who knows what will come.
Well, smart and beautiful. That's a little bit of a combination there.
Many people, there are many very smart, beautiful women out there, DBoss, and and certainly you're one of them as well. You're doing great things at DBoss with this show. Right. And, I think it's a very good platform for all entrepreneurs.
Yes. So what we're going to mention today, which you cover a lot of stuff in your book, The Manifested Millionaire, Daniel Chin, Humbled. Mm-hmm. You have it there with you? You can show everybody.
Oh, yes. I, the book is actually on Amazon, since August, since the 1 year anniversary. And this book, I can tell you, in the past week, right, I mailed out 3 copies, so of course 3 different people. And it's the feedback that I always receive every time I hear can't wait to read it, the sort of knowledge, because I always get people that call me every week, DBoss, and they ask me questions, real estate related, whether they got themselves in some sort of trouble. It's always some problem. Someone calls me, and then I said, well, have you read the book? Because if you can't see the red flags in whatever you're doing there, right? There's chapter 9, which is Go With Your Intuition. And originally that chapter was titled, You Only Need One Red Flag to Know It's a No. So, there's some great real estate principles in here, as well as a bit of my own life story and journey, right, from coming to Canada and how I've, sort of evolved over the past 18 years and, to where I am today, DBoss. And I'm very, very humble. To be in the position I'm in.
Well, in case people don't know, Daniel is a different Chinese. He's a Trinidadian West Indian Chinese, and that setter is different, correct?
Yes, the accent, I get it all the time, DBoss, and
flavor.
Yep. With I actually interestingly had in a Toastmasters meeting yesterday, a Caribbean person from Grenada, she recognized the accent. She said, "Oh, I knew you were from the Caribbean." A woman named Nicole. So I get it all the time, DBoss, all the time.
Well, I guess you shock people because and I guess your own and the people that are from the Asian race must be saying, "Hey, you're not really from China. I think you're from somewhere else."
Yeah. Well, the good thing, the boss being a Chinese Trinidadian person is that I can connect with all all different kinds of people. From the Negroes to the Indians to the Chinese people, right? And all Caribbean people love Chinese food. And and I would love to be that sort of example for other immigrants or Caribbean people of Caribbean background, that hey, you can come to Canada and you come from start at zero, and then you can make a great life for yourself. But of course, you got to work very hard, and you got to be smart, and to know where the opportunities are, to connect with people like yourself, the boss, and other people who are actually going places in life. And you really got to set the goals, and that was one of the reasons why I wrote the book, The Manifested Millionaire, for these people who want to be an entrepreneur, want to start a business, because the working the 9 to 5 job ain't working anymore. They got to do more,
Mm-hmm.
and they need to sort of figure out, okay, who can I speak to, or sort of to learn from. But of course, again, I'm not a guru, not a coach. I don't do seminars or workshop. I'm in the
We
wheeling
know
and
that you
dealing
don't believe
business.
in that at all.
But what you can do is, instead of trying to take too much of my time, just buy the book, and you can read it, as well as uh, continue watching RLM Well Tips. And I'm only on this platform to share my knowledge and experiences. And as you know, the boss, it's always cheaper to learn from other people's mistakes and experiences.
Right, and the book is also an easy read. It doesn't have you said it doesn't have any profanity, and kids can read it. So
Oh,
it's
absolutely. I think probably in the very near future, I'll be doing speaking engagements at schools, because, kids these days, they're waking up to what's really happening out there. And the education system, it ain't teaching them how to really survive in real life, in the real world. School is sort of like a bubble. Now, I'm not discrediting schools. You go to school, you
right.
finish school. Otherwise, you get in trouble with your parents, after they paid so much money for your education. But really see how you can apply those sort of what take the positives from school, and really start gaining the experience from very early. I mean, I have connected with young, very young, like graduates, and they already started out like a company, like a marketing company. They're already thinking business minded. And if you can start early, as I've always said, one of the secret to being very successful and wealthy is you start very early. And no, the best time to start, is while you're in school, so you can make as much mistakes as possible. Because if you make the expensive mistakes in the real world, oh, it can cost you an arm and a leg, and it take you forever to come back, you know
So your book is entitled this so that the people can actually come in from the young and learn how to be a manifested millionaire by from investing and stuff from a young age. Well, even if you're in the regular age, but if you're teaching them from the young, then they'll have already have the mindset. Correct?
Absolutely. Now, what I'll do is I would encourage all to start at a very early age, the boss. But, like they say in the world of entrepreneurship, is either you have it or you don't. Some are just born with it, and some they learn and they develop those skills, along the way. So it's better you start early. And because what I get all the time from some of the like parents, like the moms who, like one of the person who I shipped the book to, this was in the past a week, was a single mom with 3 kids, and she wanted to motivate her son, who was 19 years old, to get off his bum and actually go get a job. And I said, hey, it's a very, she's like, she doesn't know how to get him motivated. To get someone at that age motivated, I said they got to have desire. I said
Right.
when they like nice things, but if you get a taste of money, the boss,
Mm.
and you can buy anything you want. Now now I'm in a position I can do so, but I'm not a spender. I'm an investor.
Well, we'll
But
come and spend the money for you. So I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there. Join me, viewers. It's the holidays, and
yep,
we can do that.
yep. So I mean, it's really you got to have that hunger, and that's why the book was written in such a way to encourage people to set their goals, because if you can't see your goals that you wrote down, then you ain't gonna achieve your goals. So it's really all about the mindset, and it's very powerful. You change the way you think, you change your life forever, the boss.
Right. So we got a little special giveaway for you at the end for your book. So you got to do a few little steps there. So we'll tell you about that at the end. Right?
Absolutely. We gotta give. I mean, your audience has been very supportive of you, the boss, over the years. We gotta give them something back. And as part of this special episode leading up to the Christmas holidays, right, the least I can do is we'll give away, some copies. But you'll hear
Well, you
more
said
about
five
it.
copies.
5 copies, and you'll hear more about it at the end of this episode. So stay
Okay.
tuned.
Yeah, because the book's at a regular cost, so you guys can while you guys are on the holidays, you could read about this thing. So Daniel, a lot of people have a lack of knowledge in investment properties. So can you give us a couple of tips from that?
Yep. So I keep saying this like a million billion times, the boss. You have to really know what it is you're doing, and whether you speak to the right people, you deal with the right people, but learn as much about what you're investing in before just deciding to dive in with two feet. And most people who call me, they're already in a troubled position where they got just jump into it and didn't really know what they were doing. They listened to the quote unquote real estate agent who was telling them how to make money. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
unless the real estate agent is a millionaire or a very wealthy person, then then you can go with it. But so the knowledge is extremely important. And yes, it requires learning, but you got to learn to keep learning. If you don't love learning, then and you are just looking for some for it to come easy, or for some shortcut, then that's where you're gonna make a lot of mistakes. And I can tell you, I made a lot of mistakes. Right, I when I told the single mom, I said the principles in this book is over $100,000 in mistakes I lost. And I can tell you, it's not fun when you lose money. And I really try to, I keep saying it over and over. But you know what, I got a good friend, he told me last week, he says, Daniel, they gotta learn the hard way.
Okay, so what about people screening the tenants for your when your property is being done? So how do how do you do that?
Yeah, so it's one of the nightmares and the horror stories that you read all over the news, and it's very simple. The ones who experience those troubled tenants or problems and all of these not so good things, it's really because I think they're really not treating it like a business. And there are certain steps that they are skipping when it comes to doing the due diligence or the background checks on the tenants. Now such as that of employment, credit report, credit score, and etc., etc. But you can't miss any steps when you are verifying, or doing any verification on these tenants. And you have to think about it like you're actually helping the tenant to find the suitable apartment, and what's right for the tenant, right, to actually make their lives better. So you have to do your due diligence, and when you're screening the tenants, and you fail to do so, then you're gonna spend the next 12 months with a lot more money out of your pocket through
Eating
the
crow.
legal process. that and the whole legal process is a whole waste of time and money these days in the landlord tenant board.
So what about, okay, so what about the people, when you invest, you believe in getting the best for the property at the beginning. Also emphasize on that a little bit. Like when
The
on you're renovating your properties.
Yep. So when you are renovating, so if I understand the question correctly, if you're renovating, so in the beginning, you got to do it right. Do it right, do it
Yeah.
once. And for me, I'm very detailed when it comes to design, but you have to think like it's a whole you're creating value for whomever would be renting in that place. You ain't gonna rent the place, your mom ain't gonna rent the place, or sister or aunt or friend, right? Is actually you're gonna have a tenant who's living there, and your goal is to make that tenant provide that tenant everything they can ever dream of. All the convenience of storage, the space. Now it's more space and more green space. People want these days, and the bigger size bedroom, the high ceilings, the laundry right in the apartment, and of course parking. Right, because these are working professionals, they drive cars, and and of course the natural light with plenty windows. And so you got to know what is valuable to the tenant, and at the same time you can't forget about the cost. You got to be very cost effective, and you got to also budget, because I've heard many times people went over budget, the boss, and I said, well, whom told you to do this and that? You didn't have to do this and that. And then you spent another 10, 15,000 here when you didn't have to. So it happens, and you got to really know what it is you're doing. But having
Because you said a lot in our previous episodes. Some people cut corners, um, and then at the end they have to rip it out again and all that other stuff. Or if it was a stairway, they didn't make the stairway wide enough, then they just
yeah.
they end up costing more money.
Oh, you'll be amazed, the boss, if you have watched that show from HETV, DIY Disasters from HETV.
Yeah.
Some people, they think they know how to do renovations, and when they get themselves into renovating, I have seen some things where it's unbelievable, and things are done improperly, and it is not safe, not to code, and people, and and then eventually real people lives inside of these spaces. So you got to do it properly. And if you don't try to be cheap or save money, right? It is, think of it like it's a cost of doing business. But once the after value of the renovation is greater than the cost of the renovation, then you're okay. So most of the secret in renovation, most of it really happens in the pre-planning. So before you even start any construction work. So for me, when I look at like an empty box or empty space and there's nothing there, right? No kitchen cabinets, it's just bare walls and bare floors. What I see the end product already. A nice, beautiful, elegant kitchen, crown molding, pot lights, 9 foot long center island, quartz countertop. I already can see it. So it's really having that vision, and you begin with the end in mind. And then, of course, you got to work with the budget, because sometimes, you start with a budget, and then it goes up. You can't, some things you can't control, like when lumber prices shoots up, then, you're going to be having the sleepless nights.
Okay, so what's the forecast for 2022 in the investment property?
Yep. So by middle of 2022, I can I think the government will start increasing interest rates. However, the governor of Canada, Tiff Macklem, in his recent announcement or speech, he did say can happen sooner than expected in March, April, where they can start increasing interest rates, because in September they got back all the 3 million jobs, sorry, that they lost since the beginning of the pandemic last year. So things are looking good, based on the data. And but what I tell all investors or anyone who's looking to buy or invest, do not speculate from now until middle of next year, because there will be some periods where the government will intervene and they will cool the market down, and it's not a good time to speculate or play the flipping game trying to make some quick money. I
Mhm.
always tell all investors, the boss, right? The best way to make the most amount of money is by just sitting on good real estate.
Wow. Well, on that note, so this has been really some good information, and preparing everybody for 2022, or any other time. So where can people go? I know people are excited to go get this book. So where can they get the free giveaway book?
Well, the free giveaway book, either
And it's
um
5 copies.
yep, 5 copies. So the boss, have them email yourself.
Okay.
So email the boss, I believe it's dbossnetworks at
No, me
gmail.com.
or
Is
no
it is that
media at dbossnetworks.com. It's okay.
Yep, media at dbossnetworks.com. And of course, it will be in the description of the video. And of
You
course,
have to
yes,
follow Daniel Chin.
yeah, yes, you can also follow me
You're not
on
getting the book. You're not
Instagram.
getting the book like that. You got to do a few steps.
You can also follow me on Instagram at Daniel P as in Paul Chin, right? And just shoot the boss an email, say, hey, you watched the episode, and you got to say what you loved about the episode, and
Yes.
you'd like a free copy. And provide her with your mailing address, you'll get the book, and you'll get it very quickly. If it's within Canada, 2 to 4 business days. If it's international, probably about 7 business days.
Yeah, and maybe a little longer because of the holiday rush.
Yep.
But anyways, Daniel, this has been great. I tell you, the time is go quick when you're having fun and you're having a good time. But get your get your, there's 5 copies going to give away. So just email media at dbossnetworks.com and you will get your copy. And you got to say why you like the episode, and you got to follow Daniel P. Chin on Instagram, and you could like his page. I believe you have a Facebook page. So okay.
And I'm not sure if you recognize the boss. I wore a nice special shirt for you
Yeah,
with
he
this
were the boss.
episode.
The boss, yeah, because I'm the boss.
Right? She's been on me for getting off wearing a black turtleneck. So I wore a boss shirt
Yes, I
for
told
her.
him not to wear that today.
Yeah.
The suit and the black turtleneck and whatever it is. But anyways, I do want to thank the viewers today for watching RLM Wealth Tips with the humble manifested millionaire Daniel Chin. So everybody, good night and bye for now.